Good evening, everyone. Honorable Cassius Darrow, thank you for inviting me here to Sensi. Honorable Ivor Stevenson, Honorable Johnson Drago, Mrs. Afinia Benjamin, responsible for diaspora affairs, Mr. Kelly Grano, Mr. Ashton Grano, Mr. Paul Barron, who was here, but he's always around, Council Chair, Mr. Cozier Frederick, residents, the media, listeners via the radio and the internet, residents of Roseau Central especially, good evening. It is my pleasure today to update you on tourism. I bring the greetings from the constituency of Roseau Central, and I want to remind all of you here today, and also all of you who are listening to my voice, to ensure that you come to Roseau on the 1st of May to witness the opening and of your new West Bridge. So we look forward to you coming in large numbers to Roseau on May the 1st to witness the opening of your new bridge. On my drive here, I really want to say congratulations to those responsible, and especially those in the NEP program, for ensuring that you have a really beautiful experience in terms of the way the sides of the roads are kept, and also the plants that are being planted along the side of the road. It really makes the drive a lot more comforting and makes it a much better experience, especially when I was passing through the Horseback Ridge. And one of the things that we plan to do is to actually have a competition whereby the villages can register, and we will come at some point and review the villages to see who has the cleanest village, very importantly, and also the most beautiful village. And coming out of that, the community would get some form of assistance to further help make it more beautiful, but more importantly, you'll have the rights to brag and say that for 2017 or 2018, the village or the area of whatever constituency has the most beautiful or the cleanest village. So the Government of Dominica continues to create the environment for each and every one of you to succeed. And firstly, we do that by ensuring that you have a proper and solid education, because a solid education is the only way to move forward. Many of us can do certain things, but if you're street smart, and if you're also properly educated, you can well imagine how far you can go. And the government continues to provide educational support to all our kids by providing them with school books assistance, with uniform assistance, transportation assistance, even down to the state college. Before, many persons were not able to attend the state college, and today over 95% of persons are able to go to the state college because you have more space. Back in the day, there was no space available, so many persons who were very smart and who wanted to go to the state college could not go to the state college because there was no space available for them there. The government is a caring government and continues to provide much support in terms of the Yes We Care program, as our minister mentioned before a while ago. Hospital fees, persons over 70 don't pay hospital fees. Persons under 18 also don't pay hospital fees. So again, it really shows that the Government of Dominica cares about its people and puts things in place in order to allow them to move forward. Recently, you would have heard about the National Health Insurance Program, which is a pilot program, again, geared to assisting mothers with their children to ensure that those who need the financial help can have financial help, because many times persons are sick, persons have lots of bills to pay. Bills are very expensive nowadays. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 children. I have quite a bit of children, but luckily I have things in place to take care of. But not everybody is as fortunate, and we have to put things in place for those who are unable to take care of themselves to help them. Sometimes fathers don't play their role, and therefore everything is left on the backs of the mother. So the government continues to provide social services to help our people. Honorable Cassius also spoke of the small business assistance. This is very important because, again, if you have a solid education, a solid foundation, then you want to go into business to further yourself and to help create employment, to create revenue for yourself. The small business program is also a great way to allow you to start your own business or to improve on your own business. They provide you with grants up to $15,000, and you don't have to pay it back. But very importantly, we want to ensure that you use it for the right reason. You want to know that when you give that person that start, that help, that strength, it will allow them to go to the next level. You don't want someone to just use that money unwisely and within a matter of 2-3 months, they're coming back for more money. So you have to make sure you go through the programs, learn how to use your money, learn how to save money, and to ensure how you can expand on your business so that you can be self-reliant and eventually you can hire persons to work for you. And that's what it's all about. If we can create an environment where persons can take care of themselves and their families, this is all what we're trying to do. So those of you who have signed up for the small business programs, make sure you go for the training programs and ensure that you use the money wisely so that you can push yourself further forward. And tourism is also a perfect avenue. There's so many ways that you can use the small business to create restaurants, a small bar, craft shops, hair breeders, bus drivers, tour guides, a small bakery, the provision of cassava bread, even providing coconut water stores. Many times persons are moving around, and remember, people are coming to Dominica to experience what we have to offer. They're not coming to Dominica to eat macaroni and cheese. They're not coming to Dominica to eat French fries. They're coming to taste our cassava bread. They're coming to taste our coconut cheese and tablet. They want to drink our coconut, our coconut water. So even just having a coconut stall on the side of the road provides you the opportunity to create revenue for yourselves. Having pretty stalls, because if you think of it this way, if you see a pretty stall and you see an ugly stall, which one are you going to stop at? The pretty stall. So the experience and the way you present yourself is also very important. So the person who has the best presentation more than likely is going to get all of the business. So there are many, many things that you can do. And again, we have tablets. Our children have tablets. Let us use those tablets. And when I'm talking about tablets, I'm not talking about the coconut tablet. I'm talking about these type of tablets. Let us use them to our advantage so we can research on what little businesses that we can do. Because nowadays, anything you can think of is on the internet, and you can research and get more information. So let us use it for the positive. Let us not use it to mark up people's business, or to say negative things on Facebook, or to post negative stories on Facebook. What we have to be doing is really pushing up ourselves and also lifting up other people, and at the same time lifting up our country. Who else is going to do it for us except ourselves? So tourism is one of the important, economic drivers in Dominica and also the entire world. When persons come to Dominica, they come to have a fantastic time. They come to experience what we have to offer. But obviously they must get to where they want to go to. So they have to go on a taxi, which means the taxi man is making some money. They must pass through the airport. It means they have to pay fees in the airport. They must go to a hotel. They must sleep. They don't necessarily have to go to a hotel. They can also go to a guest house. And even here in the Kalinago territory, you have something called the homestay. So persons who want to experience what life is in the Kalinago territory can also come in the Kalinago territory and stay in your home. And therefore, you're also making money as a result of that. One of the objectives in the manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party was to ensure that there was a 3-bedroom, a 3-star hotel in the Kalinago territory. And today you have that 3-star hotel in the Kalinago territory by the name of Iwasi. So Mr. Patrick Hill has that facility where, again, by having that facility, you must have persons work inside of there. When a person works inside of there, it means he can provide for his family. Okay, Mr. Hill must buy fruits and vegetables from someone in the community, which means other persons are benefiting from it. So we always say that tourism is everybody's business. Even if it doesn't directly touch you, in some way, shape, or form, it will touch you. If a visitor comes to the place, they want to go on a tour. How are they going to go on the tour? They have to take a bus. They have to rent a thing. They have to use a tour guide. When they go to L'Escalier Tête, they can get a tour guide to walk down to the area so that they're safe. Okay, and that means persons can gain revenue as a result of these things. So tourism provides many jobs in Dominica. Over 4,000 jobs are created directly as a result of tourism. And indirectly, over 11,000 jobs are created. So take, for example, someone who comes to Dominica and stays even at your home. You pay lights. correct? You pay water. So it means all the persons that are employed at these other areas are technically and benefiting as a result of tourism. Even the government benefits from it because of the hotels, the restaurants, they pay VAT, they pay taxes. So eventually the government also benefits as a result of that. And these funds are the funds that the government uses to run the country and to create some of these social programs. But again, not all of that can be done, so therefore we also use the Citizen by Investment program to help to fund these programs that Honorable Cassius Daru has spoken about. Again, many people make it a point of duty to pass through the Kalinago territory. It's a beautiful area, and again, it's opportunity for you to try and capitalize on persons passing through the Kalinago territory to stop and take part in something so that they can spend money and therefore you benefit from it. They're interested in your culture, very importantly, your way of life, especially your beautiful arts and craft and your baskets. I mean, you see those baskets all over the world. Whenever I travel to the States where I go to some of the conferences, there's a lady that tells me every time I go there, I must bring one of your beautiful baskets for her. So again, all of these things are opportunities, and we have to work to ensure that we make them at the right size, at the right price, because sometimes if you build a basket that's way too big, it can't go in your suitcase. So again, we have to be careful as to what size you build, and again, that's where the Ministry of Tourism can also provide training and can also provide direction. It is one of the best products to help you with and to move forward. You also have a couple of sites. You have the Horseback Ridge, you have L'Escalade, you also have the Centipede Trail. And again, that is where the Ministry of Tourism can also help you. We have something called the Community Tourism Department, where our role is to ensure that when persons come to Dominica, the various communities also benefit from tourism. Because if you don't benefit from tourism, then you have nothing to worry about. Okay, you don't want to care about the individual coming there. So we try to work with various communities to enhance certain things. So take, for example, Escalade Teche, I think the office, we've provided them with financial support for the equipment. So if you have other sites, and I've heard of other sites in this area that you may want to develop, all you need to do is to come to the Ministry of Tourism, and we will do our best to work with you to help to create additional sites for persons when they come to Dominica. Because sometimes people come back to Dominica many times. And obviously if I come to Dominica 3 times, I don't want to go to the same site over and over and over again. So over a period of time, we must create additional sites for our visitors to go to. And not only visitors, we also have local tourists. You know, so we also have to cater to the locals also, because normally you have a season and you also want persons to come throughout the entire year. You don't want persons coming just for one short period and then the next couple of months there's no business. So you have to ensure that you can attract as many people to Dominica, both local and the foreigners. In terms of tourism, we see there are basically 4 pillars, 4 main things in terms of tourism. 1 is to make persons aware of Dominica. 2 is to market the country. The 3rd one is to get people to Dominica. And the 4th one is the experience. To me, one of the most important ones is the experience. When people come to Dominica, they want to have a fantastic time. And you know, like any old story, if you give persons a bad experience, if you give them bad service, they normally tell a lot more people, as opposed to when you give them good service. So many of you may go to a company in Roseau or anywhere, and they give you great service. You may only tell one person. But the day they give you bad service, how many people do you tell? Quite a few. And with the advent of social media and the internet, we tell so much more people. That's why I'm making one post on the internet. So when individuals come to our areas, we have to ensure that we give them the best customer service at all times. And customer service has to be consistent, because you don't want to go to a food place on Monday and the food tastes great. And when you go back on Tuesday, it doesn't taste great anymore. You want to go there over and over because the food is consistently great. So proper and good customer service is very important. So the Ministry of Tourism, we do our best to make persons aware of Dominica. Many times people have a understand as to which is Dominica and which is the Dominican Republic. So a lot of work is being done to ensure that we can differentiate Dominica from the Dominican Republic so persons know where to come. So even recently you'd have seen on television on the name of that program, what was it, The Price is Right, you'd have seen Dominica being featured. So again, there are a lot of things that we're doing to ensure people know of Dominica. Then the second part is that we begin to market the country, because if you have a store and you just build your store, are people going to come to your store? You must tell them why they should come to your store. And as I said about the whole branding part of it, you must do things to make them want to come to Dominica. So through the Ministry of Tourism, we have a department called Discover Dominica Authority, and their role is to market the country. Put ads out in Canada, put ads out in in the USA, put ads out in England, put ads out in Europe, put ads out in the fresh West Indies, because we know a lot of the people from the fresh West Indies love to come to Dominica, and also especially the Kalinago territory. Especially during summer, we have droves of them coming here to ensure that they enjoy what we have to offer. So what the government has done too is to also increase our marketing budget so that we can put more adverts out there to attract more people to Dominica. The more persons who come to Dominica, the more persons have a great time in Dominica, means the more money will stay in Dominica. In terms of access, persons can come to Dominica two ways. They can either fly or they can use a boat. So we know with Liat, sometimes they're late. Sometimes people say lost in between Trinidad and Antigua. But they are doing their best to try and improve on the service, and the Government of Dominica continues to give them support. Many people say, let us just cut off Liat. But just imagine if you cut off Liat and you had no other person to get you to Dominica. Imagine the chaos that there would be. So even for the Ministry of Tourism, we also have what we call an Air Access Committee, whose job is to speak with all the different airlines to try and get as many airlines coming to Dominica to provide a regular, reliable service. Persons can also come to Dominica by sea, and you have the cruise ships, you have the ferry, and you also have the yachts. So we're also doing a lot of work to ensure that the more yachts will come to Dominica, and we've been very successful, especially this year. We had something called the Yachty Appreciation Week. Every year we have an event where we welcome persons to come to Dominica. We've been doing a lot more. We also have PAYS, which is Portsmouth Association of Yachts and Security Services, who provides an excellent service to the yachties. So before, when yachties were scared to come to Dominica, now they want to make it a point of duty to come to Dominica, because the guys go out, they bring them in, they bring water for them, they sell them water. The guys even have a hose from shore out into the sea so that the yachts can come and get water. Obviously, the person who does that makes money as a result of that. Persons bring them fruits and vegetables, they make money from that. They come on shore, even the moorings, when they tie the boats out in the water, you have to pay to do that. So again, the community benefits as a result of that. This year we had over 100 yachts in the harbor of Portsmouth. Many persons said at night it looked like there were stars very low, but it wasn't actually stars. It was actually the mass of the yachts that's going backwards and forward. And the great thing about it is that the persons who come on yachts, they spend a lot more money in Dominica, and they spend a lot more time. So if I had to compare a yachty on the small yachts as compared to a cruise visitor comes here for a few hours in a day, and they spend about 66 US, whereas a yachty will stay for 7 days, and they will spend over 100 US every day. So if we can attract more of these individuals to come to Dominica, it means more money stays in Dominica for the economy and for all of us to benefit. So even the yachties who come to Portsmouth, they come here. They come here in the Kalinago territory to see what you have to offer, to see a way of life. So therefore, you still benefit as a result of it. We also work with the ferry to ensure that they have providers with reliable service, and we're also trying to see how we can improve and increase the number of visits to Dominica so that you can go out on any day that you wish, because the easier it is for you to get to a country, it means more than likely more people will want to come to the country. The last part really is the experience, which I mentioned before. People have to get a great experience. So one of the things that we do, we try to train as many individuals as possible. So we've been training the immigration officer, which is the first person that you meet. And you want the immigration officer to give you a good welcome. Because if you come to a country and the first person you meet gives you that buoy face and gives you a hard time, you're already ruin the person's experience. But imagine you come to a country and the person says, "Good morning, how are you? Welcome to Dominica. You know, how are you doing? How are you staying for?" They fill out your form very quickly and you go on the way. And then the next person who is who? The next person is the port officer who's going to check your bag. You know, so we all have to provide excellent service. When you step outside, you have the bus driver. You want to make sure he's properly dressed. You don't want him with a dirty shirt. You know, you want him to drive in a comfortable way. You don't want him racing down the road with you. You know, if something is wrong, you don't want him stopping on the side of the road and going in the bush and doing something and come back inside of the bus. You know, so we have to ensure that we provide excellent service. So we've been doing a lot of training through the Discover Dominica Authority to make sure that as many people are trained so that they can provide the best possible service. We train the tour guides, we train the hair breeders, the vendors, let's name it, taxi drivers. We provide training to as many of them as possible so that when people come to Dominica, they have a great experience. Because as I said, bad experience means many negative stories. Good experience means one or two good stories. So we have to ensure that all of us, even when we're not in the tourism business, that when a person passes, like we always do, "Hi, good morning, how are you?" You know, people always comment and say these are some of the things that they like about coming to Dominica. The people are so friendly. But again, we have to be careful because sometimes competition is a funny thing. Sometimes on the bayfront, you see one bus driver talking to some tourists, you know, "I can take you to the beautiful emerald pool with lush green forests, beautiful water." And then at the back of him is another bus driver saying, "I can do it for $5. Now, after you've done all of that hard work trying to convince somebody at the back of you, saying that, imagine what's going to happen. The two of them start to make noise. The visitor is seeing all of that commotion and saying to themselves, "Oh my God, is it safe to go with these guys?" You know, so we have to ensure that we provide the best possible service, and the Government of Dominica cannot do it by themselves. The Ministry of Tourism cannot do it by themselves. All of us have to work together to ensure that as a group, as a community, we give the best possible service so that persons will want to come here, they want to come back to Dominica, they will tell people of the great service and the great friendly people that we have in Dominica. And again, all of us will benefit from the tourism in one way or the other. So you either get a job, your friend or your family gets a job, or the government gets revenue as a result of that. And that again helps to create jobs in the communities. But in addition to that, the Ministry of Tourism also has a lot of work to do. So many of the other sites around Dominica, we provide support to ensure that they are in a good condition. So Emerald Pool, we've been doing work there. Trafalgar Falls, we've been doing work there. Tito Gorge, we've been doing work there. So many sites. Miro, we've provided them with support, financial support to make sure the beaches are intact. And if you go to Miro nowadays on a cruise ship day, you'd be surprised to see the amount of people who come to Miro as a result of that. But again, what happens is that the people of Miro understand, and because they're benefiting from it, they provide an excellent service to the guests, so the guests want to go to Miro because it's a great experience for them. We provided support in St. Joseph. Even in Salisbury, we provided the beach community with chairs, so when the person's chairs and umbrellas, so when persons come to the beach, they can provide them with a tour and provide them with a great experience. So we can do the same thing in the Kalinago territory. So what has to be done is that you have to create what we call a community tourism group. You come together, you come up with different ideas, you come to us, and we will do our best to assist you in seeing how we can make things work better for you in the Kalinago territory. So I'm not going to be too long. This is basically going to be my presentation. So what I'm saying to you is that the Government of Dominica is more than willing and happy to continue working for you on your behalf and for your benefit. And if you have any ideas, if you have any concerns, please feel free to ask today or even come to the Ministry of Tourism, and we'll be more than willing to and happy to work with you through your PAL Rep, Cassius Darrow. Thank you very much.